Yeah, it is started now.
Okay, then good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's week two graded assignment two case discussion. I, Abhinav, will be playing the role of TJ and will facilitate today's discussion. Our objectives today is to analyze the ethical dilemma presented in the case A Tattle's Tale. The discussion is not about finding a single correct answer, but evaluating the different viewpoints using ethical reasoning. So, teamwork principles and academic integrity is a must. Before we begin, I would like to confirm that everyone can hear me clearly and the recording is in the process.
Yeah, it is.
We can hear you.
Okay. So, with that, before we begin the discussion, I would like to briefly summarize the case from the perspective of TJ. In this case, TJ discovers that one of his teammates, whose name is Casey, has submitted work containing copied material without the any proper citations. So TJ immediately asks Casey to revise the work, but Casey submits a revised version uh, where the correction remains inadequate. Because of which TJ becomes concerned about whether this will affect the entire group or could face the academic penalties if any plagiarism is detected. Some group members recommended, although handling the issue internally, while others try to minimize its seriousness. As a TJ, I now face an ethical dilemma. On one hand, I want to uphold the academic integrity and ensure that our work is original and properly referenced. On the other hand, I do not want to unfairly damage Casey's academic records or create conflict within the group. Before our final assignment, the central question before us today is what should be the most ethical and appropriate course of action taken by TJ? Should the matter be resolved within the group or should it be reported to the professor in the interest of academic integrity? With that background, I would like to invite our advisor to share their recommendations on how TJ should proceed. On to your advisor.
Yeah, so I am Vikalp Agrawal and I am acting as an advisor. So, as an advisor, I think TJ should treat the issue seriously but handle it through a fair step by step process rather than immediately reporting Casey. So, first of all, TJ should preserve evidence that is, Casey's original work, suspected sources, late submission, and revised version to ensure decisions are based on facts. Second, TJ should briefly meet the group, first of all, excluding Casey, to confirm whether this is a serious academic integrity issue and agree on a fair approach. So, the focus should be on facts, risks, and group standards, not blaming Casey. Third, I think if the group agrees it is serious, they should meet Casey respectfully. TJ should explain that the issue involves copying and weak paraphrasing, not just missing citations, and should allow Casey to explain without assuming any intent. Fourth step should be the group should set clear expectations. Casey should redo the work with original writing and proper citations, and all members should submit sources with their sections to ensure fairness. Next, consequences should be clear. If Casey corrects the issue, it can remain within the group. If he refuses, minimizes it, or repeats the behavior, the group should inform the professor, as this protects the group's integrity. So all the overall this approach reflects key concepts of teamwork, communication, conflict management, and accountability by maintaining trust, addressing the issue clearly and respectfully, managing conflict constructively, and ensuring responsibility. So in conclusion, TJ should not simply gently remind Casey nor report him immediately. The best approach is to address the issue as a group, speak to Casey, require correction, set clear standards, and escalate only if necessary.
Thank you for your valuable insights. Now, I will like to invite each group members to respond to the advisor's recommendation. Please explain whether you agree or disagree and support your opinion with the reasoning.
Sure. So I would like to start as I am Sachi and I am playing as group member A. And I completely agree with what Vikalp has proposed, what the advisor has proposed, because that is the only correct way, according to my opinion, because that will involve not just directly reaching out to the professor just because Casey has done something wrong, even if it was twice, but the key thing here is the communication. So first of all, teachers should obviously meet the other team members apart, like except Casey, because Casey was the one who has done the plagiarism and everything. So when the remaining four members are aligned on what are the repercussions of what Casey has done, what is the seriousness of that action, and what could happen to the all the team members as a complete team. Because even if it was an action taken by just Casey, the repercussions could affect all of the team members, right? So based on that, they should communicate with each other and not include Casey in that. And once they are aligned that this can cause serious impacts at a later point of time, then they should politely, obviously respectfully, talk to Casey about what are the issues that the other team members are facing due to Casey's way of working. And then if they should obviously give Casey a second chance, so that she could work on herself and improve herself for the next part of tasks. And I think uh, this will uh, this will work.
Surely help with
This
the
will help the
entire
team.
process.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
this will help Casey as well on improving herself. So yeah, I agree with the advisor.
that was a nice perspective. It was a valuable insight on your end, member way. Now, I would like to also introduce our other members to share their perspectives.
So I am Nimish. I will be playing member B. What I believe that is plagiarism is a serious issue and I do not support it in any form. However, in our case, we caught it before getting submitted. So we still have a chance to correct it. Reporting it immediately to the professor would create unnecessary conflicts in the group and it could shake the group dynamics. Instead, what I think we should approach the Casey and ensure that he redos his work. He rewrites the plagiarist part again by ensuring proper citation, and this will help us submit the work properly again. Furthermore, I think so that we should come up with a new rule that before submitting any work to the professor, we should all collectively review each and other's work so that this case doesn't happen in future. That's my advice.
Interesting perspective. Since both our members have viewpoints that raise quite a consideration, one emphasizes maintaining academic integrity while the other focuses on preserving the teamwork. Let's examine how we can balance the other two priorities. So, with that, I would like to ask the other member on their insights.
Okay, hi, I'm Dikshika, and today I will playing the role of the group member C. So in this discussion, I'm agree with all the three, like advisor and the two member as well. So from my perspective, while the plagiarism is a serious issue, so I believe in the group should first try to resolve matter internally and like just go for the professor. So before taking any formal action, so we just firstly we have to resolve the internally first, and then I will share my views based on the membership throughout the discussion.
Thank you, Member C. So these were the interesting perspectives shared by everyone. And with that, I would like to ask if, in case anyone would like to add few more points to their to support their argument.
So, uh, I am Kashish and I am playing the role of the convertee. From my perspective, it's like, in my opinion, the focus should not only be on cases themselves, but also on how the group can prevent similar situations in the future. Since this was a group assignment, every member shares a responsibility for the final submission, so relying solely on one person to check the work is not a good practice. Although cases were contained plagiarism, the issue was identified before the assignment was submitted, and which gave the group an opportunity to correct it. Therefore, I think reporting case to the professor should not be the immediate course of actions. Instead, the group should be Instead, the group should have an open discussion with Casey, explaining the seriousness of plagiarism and ensure that the work is completely revised with proper citations and original content. So, I agree with
Thank
the
you for
advice.
your interesting perspective. And since this situation is also related to academic integrity and plagiarism policies, we should consider ethical theories like duty-based ethics and utilitarianism. Teamwork principles such as communication, accountability, and cooperation and conflict resolution are important here. With that, I would like to move forward with the discussions on the questions. So, the first question that lies here, I would like to ask everyone here is: do you think Casey intentionally committed plagiarism, or could it have resulted from a lack of understanding about a proper citation practices? Uh, because I personally believe that Casey did might somewhere or the other might have intentionally committed the mistake, but we should give him a chance with a proper guidance and proper uh, rather than bringing this issue to professor. Uh, it might compromise the entire group's further chances of scoring better. So with that, Casey can be educated on proper citations and proper documentation so that this mistake couldn't be repeated further in the future. Anybody would like to add few more points
Yeah,
would be
so
most welcome.
I think it is, you're right that we should not assume the Casey's intent, and he should be given a chance to explain himself. So based on his explanation, only then we can um, like decide what was going on, and he should be given a chance to explain himself.
Indeed.
Yes, I agree that
With
we can't treat it as pure negligence. It might be the case that since he has submitted the work late, it might be the case that he has put in minimal efforts, or there's might be some other distractions. So we just can't come to the conclusion that Casey's intent was to submit inadequate work towards the coursework.
indeed. And also, I would like to ask whether if the TJ has not discovered the copied material before submission, do you think the entire group should have been held responsible? Because I personally believe that since it was TJ who discovered the situation first. So since it was a sort of a luck that TJ had went through that article before from where Casey had copied. Otherwise, if this this problem crossed under his nose, then it might could have caused an issue and compromised the entire group.
Yes.
So
So I think the whole group should be held responsible if like something had happened, because like since it is a group work, and as a group, I think if it is like plagiarism related thing, there was a responsibility of someone to check if everything is right or not, and if it is not being checked, then it is the group's problem. And though it was the problem was with Casey, but since it was the check related thing is of the whole group and the project is of whole group, so the whole group should be held responsible.
Uh, Indeed,
Yeah,
although that's a nice perspective, but the similar question also is a vice versa question. Like, why should an entire group be held responsible for a single man's mistake?
Because it is just
yeah.
not the Casey's mistake, and it is a group work and everyone have to work together, and it's everyone responsibilities to check what everyone is doing, and if the group is following proper rules and checking if everything is plagiarized or not, and then only it should be submitted to the professor.
Insightful. Also, I
Uh,
have another question, a follow-up
I think
question.
Kassis was trying to say
Yeah,
something.
yeah, Kashish.
so I was trying to say that academic integrity is a shared responsibility. So each member should check the resources before submitting the final assessment.
Correct. And so, should the TJ immediately be reporting Casey to professor, or should the group first attempt to resolve the issue internally? What would I would like to know all your opinions regarding this. Whether uh, I, as a TJ, should have reported this problem to professor immediately, because I personally believe reporting this problem to the professor might compromise or escalate the situation further, which might harm the overall group marks and might affect the group integrity. Anyone would like to add some
Yeah.
points here?
So according to me, like nobody should directly report to the professor about what has happened, like about what Casey has done, because it might be the case that Casey was not aware of the seriousness of the case, or she might have involved with other things as well. I mean, it could have been something personal that she would have been facing during working on the task she was tasked with. So obviously, the team should internally communicate with Casey, understand what problem he's facing, and based on what problem he's facing, what is his perspective. What, like, if he was able to understand the seriousness and then he did it, or he didn't have enough time to put the required efforts on the task. And like, what was the case? Based on the case, then the team should come on a conclusion that like what should be done with that, but not but they should not directly report to the reporter, I mean the course instructor about that.
Indeed.
So what I
And
believe is that we can be a little bit of fair towards the coursework and also have biasness towards our teammate. Since we are a team, we can't let one member fall behind, and so I think so we should give a first and final warning to the KC and make him understand the seriousness of this academic integrity so that it never happens in the future.
true. And so valuable points here, everyone. And with that, I would like to move to my final question. Like, how can the group prevent similar kind of situation in the future assignments?
So, like as I said earlier, everyone should, whenever everyone is giving any work, it should be with proper citations, and it should be the team's duty to check each other's citations and verify it before submitting.
I
Yeah,
believe
I'm
it should
also
be
agree.
more
Yeah,
like.
I'm also agree with the Vikas
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
every student is responsible for completing their own work. So, using the proper citation and avoiding the plagiarism, and also reviewing before the final submission carefully. So, academic integrity is the responsibility of the every group member. So, that's it.
I
With
mean,
that, yeah,
apart from each one of them checking each other's work. They should have like take ownership of their own work first. I mean, each one of them should check what they are, double check what they are going to submit, and then the second step is that they should check each other's work. And if there are cases when they know that there could be someone who can submit something without citations or without proper proofs, then that work should be checked by each member. Like I mean, everyone in the team should check their work first if they have submitted it correctly or not.
Of course. With that, I also believe that a proper team integration, like everyone checking on everyone, would also might be helpful in case any member is being left behind. One can be guided properly. So thank you, everyone. That was a nice and valuable insights that would help me reach the final decision for TJs. Uh, Before we conclude, let's identify the points on which we generally agree. First, what I found is that it appears that most members agree that since the plagiarism is a serious academic issue, and but it should not be affecting our group's integrity and should we shall be giving Casey a second chance and try to resolve the conflict within ourselves. Also, we agree that TJ acted responsibly by identifying the problem before the submission. However, since again the most members feel that Casey should be given an opportunity to correct his mistake and understand the proper citation practices. However, if a similar kind of misconduct continues in the future assignments, reporting the issue to professor would be justified to protect the integrity of the group. To summarize today's discussion, our group recognized that plagiarism is a serious violation of academic integrity and can affect all members of the group assignments. However, we believe that TJ acted responsibly by identifying the issue, informing Casey about the mistake, and protecting the groups before the submission. Rather than immediately reporting Casey, the group recommended addressing the issue internally through constructive communication and proper guidance on citation. The, if this same behavior is repeated for Casey, the group refuses to comply uh, with him, and the matter might be reported to the professor. This approach, I believe, balances fairness, accountability, academic integrity, and effective teamwork. Thank you, everyone, for your valuable participation. Thank you, advisor, for your guidance and recommendation. I hope today's discussion helped us examine the ethical issues from multiple perspectives. If there are no further comments, I would like to conclude today's discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.